Hello, my name's Andy. I'm the Ginger Gamer. Welcome to episode 19. Right, if you've watched episodes 17 and 18, you'll know I'm completing a series on Quake mods, and specifically Quake mods that I made well back in the day, over 20 years ago. And in the last episode, I played my first mod that I ever finished, which was called Raptors. And today I'm going to play a mod which is not really a sequel, but it's a successor to that mod, and it's called Raptors Return. And as I said in the last episode, I don't know why I called it Raptors Return and why I didn't call it Raptors Revenge, because you actually play as a raptor rather than a soldier this time. So it was a mod I made just almost on the spur of the moment, as I remember. It just seemed like a good idea and I went with it. So there's 4 levels to it, 3 of which are just levels from Raptors that I've kind of reimagined and obviously taken out the Raptors and put in soldiers and things like that. But I've had to change a couple of the game mechanics, obviously, because you're a raptor, you haven't got a gun. It's all kind of melee attacks when you bite at the enemies. But the difference is you don't really play through the level. There's a set number of enemies in the level, and the level finishes when you've killed them all. And also the way in which you regain health is by eating your enemies that you've killed, which sounds like a good game mechanic on paper, but in practice it's slightly tricky for a couple of reasons. One is the game is quite dark. And I think, as I said in Raptors, how I used to judge the darkness when I made the levels was based on a really old setup, and things seemed a bit brighter. But it's really hard to get it a good brightness level now. I mean, I've turned it up in game. I can turn up my monitor, I guess, but a lot of the light in old Quake levels are kind of baked in when you compile the map, so it's hard to really change it substantially. So things are quite dark, so when you kill somebody, sometimes it's quite hard then to find their body and then eat it and then gain the health. And the other challenge is that the soldiers all have rocket launchers, which means sometimes they blow themselves up and sometimes they blow each other up, and again the problem there is you then can't feast on their body, which is a bit of a shame. Anyway, it seemed like a good game mechanic. It's quite difficult, and what I find when I play this mod is sometimes I do really well and I breeze through it. I say this from memory because it's been a good 15-20 years since I've played it, but I used to either breeze through it really easily or I used to find it impossible, and I'd take hours trying to finish it because your health would get down to such a low point that there just wouldn't be enough enemies that you were killing to get enough health to then be able to withstand getting shot with rockets. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure better gamers than me might find it easier, but yeah. So hopefully I will breeze through this and it will look fabulous, but we will see. Anyway, thanks for joining me again. Let's start the mod. You start in that original kind of cage that you saw in Raptors. Right, I think he's dead. Right then. Right, that's the gibs, and if you don't know what gibs are the kind of bits of flesh that are thrown up when a player or a character gets blown up basically and explodes. Not that I've made him explode, but when you eat the corpse after you've killed him, he kind of breaks up at the end, and that shows you've eaten as much as you can, when you can actually see it, obviously. Right. Right then, it'd be easier to see when I get out of this dark corner anyway. So as I said previously, I haven't played a lot of these mods more than just kind of like this first bit or first part of a level, just to test that everything's working, for 15 to 20 years. So I often can't remember a lot of what's about to happen, even though I made the mod myself. There's definitely an enemy around that corner. Right, there you go. Tasty, tasty food. There's a couple down there. They'll shoot at me. But it's easy to dodge. Oh, unless you run straight into it. Right. Now, enemies in Quake aren't super clever, so I think you can see there's a soldier at the back there. I've been fighting and killing all these, and he hasn't really worked it out until I get closer, which is too late. Right. The health will just keep going up, so you may notice I start with 500 health and I'm at 563. The health just keep going up. There's no limit, which is useful in this mod. I'm going to back away here, much like I did when playing Raptors, and just kind of drag him out. I kind of want to drag him out into the light. I think he's just killed. No, he hasn't. I wanted to drag him out then, as much to be able to have an easier fight, but also be able to find his body and then eat it. Oh, I can't remember. I think there probably is another. Yeah. He'll fire in a minute, and then I'll see where he is properly. He's just coming down the left. Right, I think he killed himself. Which is useful, but not useful. As I say, if he kills himself, I think he was quite close to the wall, so when he fired the rocket, there was some splash damage. It's useful in that it kills one of them, but it doesn't really help me because I want the health points. Right, I'm back down to 500, which I'd have liked to had a few more, to be honest. Is there anyone in there? There's no one in there. There might be one round here. Oh, there's two. Right, that was quite good. Right. I think that soldier might have blown himself up. Ooh. Sometimes they blow themselves up but don't completely blow their body up, which means I can still eat them. Alright, there's one there. If I slide down here, I might be able to get him before he can shoot me. Oh, you can see a gun there, so that's soldier. Excellent. That went quite well. And I'm up to nearly 600. Now, from memory, I'm kind of remembering as I go along. I think that the next level and the final level are the two hardest levels, and yeah, I think there's maybe some people in these trees as well. But the final two levels, as it should be, are harder. So I would like as much health as possible going into them. Right, there's one left. did lose more health than I would have liked at that point. And there's a dark spooky forest, and there's definitely another soldier in there. So I think I'll just... There we go. I think he killed himself again. Right. Yeah, I think this level is particularly tricky from memory. We shall see how I get on. Oh, just ran into a rocket then. Right, lots of them are dead. I'm not sure how many are eatable, how this one is. So yeah, a lot of my tactics when I play this isn't very sophisticated, but then the mod isn't. If there's a lot of them about like that, I tend to jump around a lot because one, I'm harder to hit, and two, they often kill themselves, which is, as we've said, is only partially useful. Right. Oh, there's two enemies down there. Slightly kamikaze approach there. I did lose a lot of health doing that. I'll go up behind that one. Right then. So for these first sort of 2.5 levels, I've only lost technically 44 points of health, which is quite good. But as I said, I think these are the more difficult levels, and I'm having recurrent nightmares about this next part of this town. Oh, that didn't go too bad. That was a little kamikaze as well, but it seemed to work. I like doing a kind of... When you see raptors in, obviously, the Jurassic Park movies, not in what were real raptors, when they do that kind of jump through the air and attack, I do kind of like trying to do that, even if it's not necessarily the safest way of going about it. Are there any more? Ooh. Excellent. All killed. Let's see how many health I've got, and I've just got one more level to go. 500, oh, nearly 500. So in the course of the 3 levels, I've only lost 2 health points, and that's kind of how playing this game used to go. It would either be really comfortable like this, although I am nervous for some reason, or it would be an absolute nightmare, and I'd be down to like 50 health points now and have no way of finishing this level. Well, that's annoying. He's got stuck in there and I can't eat him, which is very annoying, but we'll plow on. See what's around there. Ooh. Oh, that one could go away. Is he still coming? There are a lot of soldiers in this level. I'm cautious about when to stop and eat soldiers. Sounds a terrible thing to say because I don't want to leave me open to attack, really. Kind of hoping that one's going to come. That one's going to come nearer. See, he blew up one I wanted to eat. He then got hit by his colleague. Oh, I walked into that. Hearing fire, which was useful, which enabled me to jump out the way. Whoa. Right then. Now I have no idea where this level goes now. I cannot remember. It's very dark, as you can see. But I do have quite a lot of health left, so fingers crossed I shouldn't mess up too badly. There's definitely a soldier back there, and they've already seen me, which is a shame. Down below 400, which is a shame. But there can't be too many left. There's a little building up here. We know there must be a soldier left, otherwise the game would have finished. So where's the final soldier? That's strange. Oh, he is in there. There we go. Done it. So this should be an end of game. There you go. There's the end of game screen. You have been playing Raptors Return, a modification of Quake by AJ. If you didn't know, that was my nickname when I used to mod Quake. It comes from the fact, as you know, my first name's Andy, which is A, and my middle name is James, which begins with J. And that's why I thought of AJ, really. Anyway, Quake is an id Software product, DC Quake ported by Titanium Studios. And again, if you haven't watched the last episode, all of my mods I made, I think all of them, most of them definitely, I made to work on the Dreamcast port of Quake as well, which took a bit of work. And invariably either two versions or the main version and then a patch to get it to work on Dreamcast. And then a little, if you've enjoyed this, let me know and give my email address, which is still one of my email addresses. And you can fire to play again or escape to leave. But that is the mod finished. That went okay. As you can see, I'm ropey at gaming. But it's a fun mod, and some days it can seem really easy and some days it can be really difficult. But I think that worked quite well. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching and for sticking with me. The next mod I'm going to be playing is Bulldog Stadium, which is a very different mod. And it's, how can I put it? It's somewhat quirky, shall we say. And again, it can be quite difficult. And there's two difficulty versions, which I'll talk about when I play it. I may well play it tomorrow. Doesn't mean say the video will be out tomorrow, but I may well play it tomorrow. And then after Bulldog Stadium, it's Lunken's Journey, which is a whole different can of worms. And might even be 2 episodes because it's a bit longer. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching. If you've liked, please like, please subscribe, please share, all that good stuff. And I will see you next time.